Welcome to the road to 1 million US dollars. Let's get right into the Bitcoin chart for today, starting on this 4-hour time frame for Bitcoin, because what you can see right here is that after we got this breakout at about 92.3K, we perfectly hit our price target here. And then from there, we started reversing to the downside just a little bit. So in this video today, I'm going to talk about if I am concerned about this little pullback that we are seeing right now, and if I think it is the start of something much bigger, or if this is just hitting the price target and then potentially resuming to the upside from there. Well, first of all, what I want to take a look at on this 4-hour time frame is this bearish divergence that is confirmed in the charts. And typically, in the case that you are not familiar, a bearish divergence is when you have higher highs in the Bitcoin price and lower highs in the RSI momentum indicator. Usually this points towards a break from all of this bullish price action that we have been seeing here recently, either in the form of some choppy sideways price action or potentially some bearish momentum in the short term. And so far, we have basically just been seeing a little bit of bearish momentum here, again on that 4-hour time frame, ever since confirming this bearish divergence here. If I actually take a look at the CME futures for Bitcoin, this currently has a CME gap to the upside at 99.4K. Now, in the case that you're not familiar, typically over 90% of CME gaps tend to get filled shortly after the CME exchange starts trading again. So in the immediate short term on that 4-hour time frame, that is looking a little bit more bearish, but the higher time frame outlook still is looking bullish in my personal opinion. But of course, that is not financial advice. I'm simply telling you what I am seeing in the charts, and you can do with that information what you like. There is still that CME gap at about 77K for the Bitcoin price, but even with that small bearish divergence that we are seeing on that 4-hour time frame, I do not think that this needs to be a full-on reversal down to 77K. Something that I am actually keeping an eye on is this 1.618 Fibonacci level sitting at about 89.1K. So long as we are trading above this, as far as I'm concerned, we can even do a pullback all the way down to this 1.618 Fibonacci level, and so long as we bounce off of there, I will still just be bullish. Now, if we do something like this, and we really start getting daily candle closes back below that 1.618, then perhaps we need to start talking about a potential deeper pullback for Bitcoin. But for now, as I'm recording this video, I am not really concerned about that just yet. I think it is just a little bit early. And I make these update videos every single day. So if you want to stay up to date with the crypto markets, then make sure to subscribe to my channel with notifications on so you don't miss any of these important update videos. And of course, I will continue to keep tracking Bitcoin, doing my analysis every single day. Next, moving on to the Bitcoin liquidation heat map. As you can see right here on this 1 week time frame, we do have a big pocket of liquidity sitting at 97,000 US dollars, where we have about $300 million worth of Bitcoin long positions that would get liquidated if the Bitcoin price reaches that level. So when I'm looking at this chart, it would not be surprising to me if we actually end up dipping to 97K at the very least to take out that big level of liquidity there, because in the case that you are not familiar with this chart, typically the Bitcoin price gets attracted to where there is the most liquidity on this chart. And right now that is to the downside, with again that biggest pocket being at 97K, and below that there's also a big level of liquidity at about 94,000 US dollars. The way I use this heat map is, well, if we take out this big level at 97K and we do not bounce somewhere in that range, for example at like 96.5 or something like that, then I will start looking at that 94K level as a next potential target for this pullback here. Lastly, taking a look at the Bitcoin ETF flow tables for today. Yesterday, we saw another net inflow of close to $500 million. Again, with most of that coming from the BlackRock Bitcoin ETF. So on this far left side, you can see all of the crazy net buying pressure that has been coming from the BlackRock ETF investors over the last couple of weeks. Now, so long as these massive inflows continue to happen every single weekday, obviously this is going to have an upwards pressuring effect on the Bitcoin price. But again, as I said in yesterday's video as well, if we start seeing massive outflows every single day, well, then obviously that will have a downwards pressuring effect on the Bitcoin price. So over the last month or so, we have basically seen nothing but massive inflows from these Bitcoin ETFs. And therefore, if we start seeing a bit of profit taking happening here, that would not be surprising around that 100K level that we have been taking a look at over the last couple of weeks. And I mean, interestingly, I was expecting there to be some kind of resistance here around that 100K level, because I think that this is a psychological level of resistance for Bitcoin investors and potentially even traders, because I've been trading these crypto markets for a long time, guys. And people have been talking about 100K for Bitcoin for years. Okay, so now the Bitcoin is finally at that level. It is not surprising that people are starting to take some profits there. Now, all we have to figure out is if this is just going to be a short-term higher low, or if we actually start getting a deeper pullback for Bitcoin. And for now, it is simply too early to say anything about that just yet. My strategy for now is basically to still keep open my long position that I've kept open since 69K for the Bitcoin price, but I'm also trading the lower time frames because I want to capture some of this volatility that we are seeing around this 100K level. Either way, this has been today's market update. Thank you very much for watching once again, and I will see you tomorrow in the next one.